Start the webinar. Da, 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 da. All right. Holy cow. Hello. Sorry. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome. You know what happens when you try to do something new, don't you? Everything goes wonky. Can you guys hear me? Can you see me? Can you type in the chat? Do you know where the chat is? Hey, Jillian, Johan, thank you. Bright, yes, yes. Harry says yes. And now I have to get used to the fact that the chat goes reverse compared to what it was doing in Webinar Jam. And number two, I have to go share over in the Facebook group. And I apologize. Computer tech problems starting this morning. Oh, first of all, it is recording. That's number one. Mitch, you must do a recording. It is different. Jeff Stark says last is different than last. Yes, that's because we're now using Zoom. And you get to see all of my mess. I didn't get to my chair moved out of the way. It's been one of those mornings. Hi, Deborah. So now let me try to go over and do the Facebook thing. Part of the problem this morning, and welcome to the Copilot Show. I'm Mitch, if you don't know. This is our first time using Zoom. And what I'm going to try to do now is to do the Copilot Show on Zoom. Where should this go? Public. Where should it go? It should go into a group. And it should go into UpViral. I apologize. I really intended to get this all set up beforehand. But tech problems, my monitor isn't working. I had to reboot, you know, all those joyous things. Johan, yes, thank you. And if you are typing in, I think in Zoom, it comes up by default to showing to panelists. So I see a whole bunch of chat stuff that says to panelists, and nobody else is seeing that. So please make sure that you change. Porter asks, can we see the chat and you at the same time? You should be able to. I don't know if you're on a smartphone, maybe. There could be challenges with smartphones. I don't know. Let me see. My lighting is really bad. Steve, good morning. Steve, good afternoon. Porter says on my phone. So I don't know, Porter. I'm not a Zoom phone expert. I'm moving the chat over where I can see it. Porter says all good. Johan says I see both chat and video. Now what I need to do is check on the Facebook, view stream on Facebook, and let's see if I can put that over here onto this monitor. I do appreciate first time setup on Zoom. Let's see. I do see that it's there. I'm not a Zoom phone expert. And I can hear it. I'm moving the chat over. And it says I'm Wilco, doesn't it? Something else I need to learn to change before I get going. With Zoom and other presenters, we are panelists and we are the attendees. Let's see. Presenters, yes. Presenters are the panelists and you guys are the attendees. So I see you as attendees. Joy of setting something new up. I appreciate each and every one of you for coming and being here. And I appreciate that you guys recognize that sometimes tech stuff is fun and different. And today's show is doing some reviews. So I actually had to reboot my machine twice. I still couldn't get that monitor to work, and has a really desirable for me to have that extra monitor when I'm doing a show like this because there's a lot of things I have to watch. If you're tuning in on Facebook, please say hello. So I'm going to comment over there to make sure that things are working, but we want people to show up in the Facebook group, which is part of the reason why we're doing this. It says there are 3 people in the Facebook group. All right, so let me turn that off so I can see the chat. Yes, it does say presented by One Valley in the lower corner. That's not me. That's where UpViral bought the Zoom account. Good morning, Larry. If you're on the phone or tablet, you cannot see both chat and video at the same time. I found Zoom to be a much better place for some of the others, but they are problematic, some of them. So there's also, as Deborah points out, there is a raise hand function down at the bottom toolbar. One of the reasons we went this direction is to A, be able to stream over onto Facebook, and B, to be able to have people come on as guests, like if you need to show something to me. So with Zoom in webinar mode, you can not only come on via audio, can't see your face, but you can come on via a share screen too. So if you had something that was really important that you needed to share with me or anybody that we have, I'm going to bump up my fan because, of course, in working out all those bugs, I got really hot in here. So thank you for that, Deborah. But yes, if you do have a question, you can raise your hand or you can just type it in the comments. We can have a conversation now, which is kind of cool. Porter says, on the mobile, you have to tap the screen to see the chat options. Okay, good. Didn't know that. Let's see. I need to make sure that things are kosher over here. I have Safari. What I want to do is hide Safari. How about I go over to Chrome, which is where I'm going to do the show, and I hide everything else. That's not it. It's that one. And then I want to bring back Zoom. And I want to bring back, oh, well, Safari. All right. So too many windows. Too many windows. Again, so I appreciate you coming on and watching the show with us. We have 2 campaigns that were submitted by people. And so we're going to go through those. Today is a review day. So we're going to review a couple of campaigns. And then we are going to answer questions if anybody has any questions in this process. And I actually have a campaign that I want to show off a bit, if that's possible. That would help. Larry says, as usual, type a Q to alert me that there's a question. I appreciate that. Some people do QQ to obviously go with the question. If you're over on Facebook, I am going to try to watch that over here on this monitor. You can't see, but over on that monitor, I'm going to try to keep an eye on chat there if you're watching on Facebook, and I see a couple of people on Facebook. So make sure that you pop in over there. I hope that you fall in love with the show. If you're new, let me know, say hi. Make sure that in your comments, you do set it to panelists and attendees so everybody gets to see the questions and comments. And Deborah says, I also have Facebook up and will try to help with answering questions if that's okay. Of course that's okay, Deborah. Thank you for that. You're a superstar, just like everybody else that's here. I'll really appreciate each and every one of you being here because that makes it fun. This is episode 1 of season 2, if you want to talk about seasons, because last week was episode 52. We're on episode 53 now, and we're starting off with a bang. Kaboom! Because this is going to be a review show. I do have 2 campaigns that were submitted that we're going to review, and I have one of my own. Now, if you haven't seen me do a review, here's the ground rules. Number 1, these are my rules. Number 1, I'm coming in to look at your campaign as if I've never seen it before. And in most cases, I haven't. Now, the 2 that I've looked at that were submitted this week, I have looked at the landing page, but I have not signed up and looked at the sharing page. My goal is to look at the campaign as if I know nothing about what you're trying to do, which is the whole point that we're doing campaigns, is to reach out to people that have never heard of us or seen us before. Somebody shares your campaign on Facebook and they're coming in for the very first time and have no idea what your offer is, and they have to make a decision based on what they see in front of them. And that's what I'm trying to do, is to help you understand that you need to take off your hat, your I know everything about this campaign hat, because you do know everything, because it is your campaign that you've created, and you have to look at it with a fresh set of eyes. So that's what we are planning to do here. We're going to look at these campaigns as if we've never seen them before. Oh, okay, Deborah, that's fine. I don't necessarily think you need to do that. What Deborah's talking about is bringing the questions over from Facebook. I have it right here, and I think I should be able to handle that. But if you do want to answer the typical questions like, hey, is there going to be a replay? Now, for those of you who may not be tech savvy, if the thing is streaming on Facebook, Facebook automatically saves the recording. Facebook always has a replay. So if you're in a group or a Facebook live, page, or wherever somebody is streaming, you don't have to come in and say, hey, is there going to be a recording or a replay? The answer is yes, because Facebook does that automatically. Now, I am recording this so that I can hand this over to UpViral so they can post it on YouTube and inside of the UpViral Learning Center. So that is absolutely something that you will be able to watch these replays in the Learning Center, as well as on their YouTube channel. And for those of you watching, Deborah has just given the links to those. Thank you, Deborah. I do have a bell, and I do have fun sounds that sometimes you will hear, because I like having fun. All right, and we love engagement, so if you have a question, don't be shy. Larry says, and I absolutely agree, Deborah is the best. Now, so thank you, Deborah. Now, if I'm talking to you over on Facebook, being silly here, but the people over on Facebook, as you're watching, please make sure you comment, and please make sure you register with the link that UpViral gave you, because my brain's going 1,000 different directions. Sign up, because UpViral will remind you weekly to show up. And it's important because we often get really busy, and frankly, because I'm tooting my own horn and I don't have a tooting horn sound, I should. I have all kinds of fun sounds, but yes, Mitch, you're really going to say this. This is the most important marketing show on the planet. Yes, I'm egotistical. Yes, I think highly of what we're going to talk about. And the reason, those of you who watched it regularly, you can frickin' do almost every marketing thing that you do inside of UpViral now. And you can share campaigns. If you missed that last week, it was last week, right? No, it was the week before. 2 weeks ago, we announced that UpViral now has the ability to share campaigns. And you will be seeing a whole bunch of those campaigns coming from me I have a website, a marketplace that I am building to be able to share campaigns with you, not only a free one or two, but some that will cost you an absolute fortune. And you'll love it because what it's going to do is save you time and money and effort, and everything's going to be handed to you on a silver platter. All you got to do is customize it and make it look the way you want it to look. Freaking amazing, this tool. JV asked to panelists, by the way, please change to panelists and attendees so everybody sees the questions if you're on the Zoom call. Is season 1 in the UpViral Learning Center or YouTube? The answer is, I have to remember that I have a ceiling fan up there. Usually I do this when I'm sitting down. Yes, the answer is yes, both. Learning Center has all of season 1. YouTube has all of season 1. The Facebook UpViral group in the unit section, or they call it something else now, guides section, has all of season 1. So you can see everything. Oh boy, I wish there was a search function. There's not, but I know a way that it should be done, and that's a whole nother story. Steve says, let's go. Quit babbling, Mitch. Quit flapping your gums, and let's get to it, right? Thank you, Steve. He's always trying to keep me going. All right, so let us learn. I'm going to do, let's see, I got to put the chat over on that window. I use Zoom all the time, right? This has become our lifeblood, and why I didn't buy Zoom stock when the pandemic started, I'm still kicking myself over that one. All right, and I'm going to share the screen. We all know, love, and trust the share the screen function, right? Desktop 1, share. Now, this first campaign, and if I had my other monitor working, oh man, I would have this information right over there on that side monitor, and I would remember who submitted this, but I don't. So I apologize. This is the very first campaign that was submitted to, this was the most recent campaign submitted to UpViral. And so I'm looking to see what Facebook is doing with me, and it's got me in the upper right-hand corner, so I know where I am in terms of the screen. I am also in the upper, but that doesn't, you guys can't see me move that. All right. All kinds of things. So I need to turn this off, but that's a tool that pops up my calendar. That's what that is. If you see this M over here, that's not anything to do with UpViral. All right, so this campaign has several features that I really like. First of all, one of the things that I'm getting really comfortable doing is identifying at the top of the page who the campaign is for. In this case, it's a contest for homeowners looking to renovate. Identifying right off the bat who the campaign is for helps eliminate a whole bunch of people that it's not for. And I really like that. Win free access to my digital course, Nail It, plus a luxury Joe Malone gift for your home. Now, I don't know who Joe Malone is, but that's okay. Total package value, $1,500. Yes, I want to win the amazing giveaway. D-mazing. I don't understand the reference yet, but this is okay to be branding. Oh, look, I now see that that's brand, probably brand name. Now, by the way, if you see up here in the upper corner, there is an UpViral brand, and therefore I know that we're not using a custom domain. I really, really, really highly advise that if you're doing an UpViral campaign, you use your own domain so people see what's going on. Now, I just accidentally blew that up a little bit. So, any questions yet? Am I doing okay? inside, I did it again. It's when I tap on the mouse, it does that. If you don't know how to use a custom domain, of course, there was a Copilot show that talked all about that, and I highly advise that you use a custom domain. UpViral is the only tool that I'm aware of that on the very basic plan, you get to use a custom domain. You can have one active at any one time. And that's brilliant. Monica's question. Thank you, Monica. Why use a custom domain? Let's see. I'm using my brain. I know that's hard for some of you to believe. I'm using my brain. I'm trying to think of one really fast. And let me see. I don't know which one right off the top of my head. Oh gosh, hope you can't hear that. My wife's opening the garage door and it's making a loud screeching noise. Scared the kajibers out of me. Porter says tracking and analytics. Oh, look at that. Deborah, you rock. Deborah just shared the link to the Copilot show covering custom domains. Let's do free. Not that one. So we're just going to try this one. Not that one. Not that. Come on, Mitchell. That one. Why is it not pasting where I want it to go? Now this is a campaign that Mitch created. And if you see in the upper left-hand corner, and I wish I could blow this particular part of the screen up, but I don't know how to do that. You see what it says up here is free templates.viraltrafficguy.com. Now, viraltrafficguy.com is me. So that is my branding, right? I am implementing my own brand versus if I come back over here, this says upvir.al. It's a branding thing. It's a trust factor. People that know, like, and trust you or your brand will be more comfortable signing up for something if it's branded to you versus this UpViral link. And so it's critical that 5/4/21. What do you mean, Deborah? Oh, the date of the show. That was from May 4th. Thank you for that. And I'm going to move this chat back over because it's just easier to see over here. Larry said it shows your professionalism in running contests. That is an awesome point, Larry, which I don't often talk about. And so I appreciate that a lot. That's very true. If you're just using the UpViral URL, it kind of looks like you slammed it together. Now, custom domains are not the easiest thing sometimes to set up, but they're really pretty easy when you get there. Once you get it, once you have it figured out, it's not a big deal. And I'm going to show you when we get to the social sharing where else that really shows up. Larry also helps with posting links within some social media, most noticeably Facebook. Face the book, as Larry said. And Johan said also, God, you guys are coming up with some great things. I appreciate the heck out of you. Johan said, setting up a custom domain is usually free at your hosting provider. Yes, it is. Yeah, I've also never said that. That is very true. The only thing it takes is a tiny little bit of time to set up what's called a CNAME record. And it's a little hard. Some people think it's hard. I think it's easy. I've also done it probably 200-300 times now. So, but it's key in many ways. We'll talk about that. All right. So in terms of branding, so this Demazing giveaway, it says Demazing here. So apparently this is the brand name. Would a custom domain, Jillian asks another great question. Gosh, you guys are cracking it. Would a custom domain affect the setup of the Facebook pixel? The answer is no. Would setting up Facebook pixel rather than a direct on UpViral? I mean, the thing about it with the Facebook pixel is that it is, again, I mean, you can put a Facebook pixel right here in a upvir.al domain. You can put a Facebook pixel here. But Facebook's also seeing that it's not in your domain. If your domain is demazing.com, then Facebook is looking at it as a different domain, right? If it said win.demazing.com, if that's what their URL is, then Facebook sees it as something within your own domain. So yes, it does make a difference there. Paul says, anyone know how to copy and paste comments on Zoom? It's a major bummer for me if you can't. Actually, inside of Zoom, Larry or Paul, I believe you can save the chat. If you click on something, maybe somebody else knows. I don't want to go down that path, but inside of Zoom, I believe you can save the chat. Anybody know that answer for Paul? All right, so let's go back to the campaign. Great questions, thank you. You can select the text and do copy and paste, Johan says. Yes, you should be able to do that, but I do believe there's a save somewhere. And again, for those of you people hanging out over on Facebook, hey, give us a comment. The more you comment on Facebook, the more it helps the algorithm, and therefore we get in front of more people. You know the routine. I should, anyway, you guys know I'm not Wilco, right? I have not changed my name over here. But see, I can't permanently change it to, let's see. I want to open the panelist participants panel. And if I do that, go to panelists and I do rename. There you go. Mitch, the viral traffic guy. How's that? Deborah says chat gets saved by Zoom as a separate file. I know it does it on my account because I'm recording it. Workaround is pop out the chat and then do a screen grab. I swear there's some other way of doing that. Anyway, in this campaign, and thank you all again for contributing in the chat. Contest for homeowners looking to renovate. Win a free access to my digital course called Nail It. Now, part of the issue right off the bat in this title section. Now, the reason I'm going to focus on this is that the very first part of the page, right, you typically have 3 to 5 seconds to get somebody's attention and get them to sign up. Sometimes they will read more, but this very top section is critical to get people to sign up. And if you're in the business plan, the second level plan in UpViral, you could do split testing, and you can split test this to find out for sure, which is my biggest advice, is to split test. But it says right here, win free access to my digital course, Nail It. Now, again, you remember I told you to take off your hat. If somebody comes into this, doesn't know who Demazing is, doesn't know anything about your course, the first thing they see is win access to my digital course, Nail It. Is that the message you want people to see? Is that really what the big prize is? Because I think that's going to potentially affect whether or not people sign up. What if this was the first thing they saw? Win a luxury Joe Malone gift for your home, which I don't know what that is, and access to my free digital course. that potentially flipping that would be more recognizable and more people would see that they're going to win a luxury gift as opposed to, oh, I got to take a course. They don't know yet what that course is. And therefore, if the first thing you slap me with is, hey, win my course, you've just lost about 95% of the people because they don't know you yet. Right? Is this making sense? The idea is that, yes, you want them in and you want them to know, love, and trust you. You want them in your course. You want to sell them your course. But if they don't know what it is, when they first come in, you've just lost a whole pack of people. Now, if Joe Malone gift rings some bells with people, and the total package value, $1,500, certainly rings some bells for people. But again, and I'm harping on this, if you don't have a product that is recognizable, right? I'm just going to hold this up because it's right here. Many people in information in entrepreneur world know who Russell Brunson is. If you hold up a course that Russell Brunson teaches, and I don't know off the top, but win this Traffic Secrets book from Russell Brunson, many people know who that is and they find that recognizable and they're much more interested. Win free access to my, who are you, digital course. Oh, boring. Nail it. Yeah, okay, renovate. I get it. I get it, kind of funny. But right off the bat, if you're looking at this as if you are not the person who knows, trusts you already, I think you can see that this is potentially a turnoff. It's potentially going to push a whole bunch of people away. And then the button. Now, for those of you who, and this is true for everybody here, right? We're all watching because this isn't our campaign, but we want to learn the best way of doing this. You want to give them as much information as you possibly can in a short, succinct way to get them to sign up, which is why you're putting the button so high. Now, could you take some of this, make your home renovation or building a success from an expert with 15 years of experience? Okay, Monica, great. You have all of this in experience. Why isn't that above the button? Rather than saying my reno scared me for my life, my money evaporated, etc., you will say I nailed my project. This is the kind of stuff that you potentially do want to put above the button. Win 2 prizes. And I do understand that there's this above the fold curse or challenge, but we've got to give them enough information that anybody coming in that doesn't understand the offer understands the offer and is jumping up and down to get it. Okay, that's the goal here. And again, you could split test this. You could, Monica, you could split test this and find out if Mitch is right. Very simple to do. Deborah also did say in the comments, instead of get my digital course, say something like, quote, get my remodeling RX survivor's guide. Because she's identifying what nail it means, and we don't know if that does nail it or not. Ha, ha, ha. Oh, that was bad. But by giving them information, right? The other pain thing, the other thing that we could talk about is this pain point, right? And Deborah says, for non-US people, RX means prescription. And thank you for that, because you're a good point. Not everybody understands what RX is. One of the things you can do is right here, right below this, would be My renovation scarred me for life. Did I say scared before? I said scared, didn't I? Scarred me for life. My money evaporated. What if this was at the top and people that are reading starting at the top, homeowners looking to renovate, have you been scared off by all the horror stories of renovations? Right? Address the pain point. Get people to go, heck yes, that's me. Right? Going back, I'm I'm nailing Monica like crazy for this very first sentence, but this is critical. This, if you don't nail this, I'm loving this one. If you don't hammer this point home, good golly, this is getting bad. Yes, and Larry says we don't know if this is a contest from Monica or from somewhere else. And there are no prizes even if you were interested. Because, and yes, thank you, Larry. I'm kind of getting to that. We're finally finding out what this is, what the prizes are down here, but it's not very clear here, right? This says luxury Joe Malone gift. Well, that now I see that that's a diffuser for your home. Okay, I don't know what the value of that is, if that's something I really need or want, but a luxury Joe Malone gift is very generic, very and again, I'm looking over at the Facebook just to make sure I haven't seen any comments, and you guys aren't commenting. Throw me a comment over there, please. So it looks great. This campaign looks great from the get-go, right? But what we're thinking about is that what we really want people to do is to feel the pain if they've done a home renovation before, or if they haven't, they've heard the horror stories. How is this going to solve their problem? And then, heck yes, they want to sign up, right? I've lived through home renovation. We lived in our house. We renovated absolutely everything except for this room. Well, I take that back. We did add those cabinets. Everything else is still the same. And I built this room, by the way. 20 years ago, I built this room. It used to be the garage. Inside, secret. I bet you didn't know that. But we gut renovated the rest of the house. Absolutely gut renovated the rest of the house. And it was painful. Absolutely painful. So if you address those pain points right at the top, have you lived through a painful renovation? Have you been ripped apart by contractors, lost all your money, blah, 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 several of those kinds of things? People will suddenly feel much more like they're interested than win free access to my digital course, which they don't know about, plus a vague gift for your home. Nobody's going to sign up for that. Monica, if this is you, I'm sorry I didn't grab your name. Actually, what I'm going to do is see if I can do this and move that off the way. Because that's actually the spreadsheet with information on it, and I don't want to give all that out. Let me see if I can find out whether it was Monica. Yes, it is Monica Demazing. All right. So let me move that back over. Still nobody's commented on the Facebook group. Oh, gosh. Hey, guys. Oh, now you're seeing the other campaign that I didn't want to show yet. All right. So I think you're getting the point. I'm not going to try to belabor this one. Belabor it. Oh, Steve said use the same pick twice. Oh, this one and that one. Yeah, good point. I don't know that I like that either. It is important. I do like the fact that Monica is identifying herself as an expert here, because that's critical, because people don't know who Monica is in the first place. Okay, so good things going on here. Here's a quote. Monica's knowledge is so... Jeez, Mitch, come on, you're trying to talk. I understand why my girlfriend's project has gone to, and she put it, to hell in a handbasket. these kind of quotes are very important. So there's a lot of information that we want to portray right at the top. And I think that's all good stuff. See, God, I wish I had my third monitor. I want this out of the way so I can see the Copilot comments in the Facebook group, because nobody's commenting over there. Am I begging too much? Yes, I know. So this is a typical UpViral template. I understand that the UpViral template suggested you go down this path. I think it could be improved and you would get more signups. You would get better conversions. This is a different picture down here than that one for Steve. Monica's here. Is that you, Monica? Ha! Hi, Monica. Yay, Monica's here. All right. Want to get these fantastic prizes? You don't list the prizes again. Now, I know people just saw it up here, and this is one of the reasons why I don't particularly like this template. This is me, but it would be kind of nice if you listed them again right here. So this button gives you the pop-up. Contest for homeowners looking to renovate. Enter your details. Enter your info to join the contest. I think that's redundant. I know the template does that. I think it's redundant in the template. Yes, I want to win the giveaway. So I'm just not overly fond necessarily of the way this is down here. Paul said should be win these amazing prizes. Either way, Paul's with me. One of the other things I love to talk about, right, is instead of want to, I think that's kind of, I'm going to come up with a better word, but mamby-pamby is always the one that comes to my brain. It's kind of wimpy. Do you wanna? How about what Paul said? Win these amazing prizes. Or enter to win if you want to be really cautious. Okay, so good stuff. Great start. I applaud you. How about this? I applaud you, Monica, for getting started. It's weak, Deborah says. All right, let's move on. I think we've given quite a few good tips here, but I want to see the second page. Mitch. Steve says, is the $5 diffuser going to get me excited? Parentheses, it's okay. It's probably a $500 diffuser, but ... And I tend to agree. When I just saw that, I tended to kind of go, okay. Now, I don't know who that person was, and I'm covered it up, why it's an expensive, exciting diffuser, but for me, that's not so exciting. But it may really resonate with your people. You know more about your people than I do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to register so we can get to the second page. Joe Malone diffuser for a particular type of client, Jillian said. Apparently, Jillian knows who Joe Malone is, but I don't. But that's okay. All right. Double entry, double opt-in is turned on. You guys know that I hate that. Absolutely hate double opt-in, but sometimes people require it. I will tell you, by the way, that I'm really pushing hard on UpViral to change this because I don't want people, a lot of people that I know don't see this. And therefore, they go on sharing and registering, and they never remember to find the email, and therefore, they don't actually register for the contest until they go do that. So I want them to change the way this works, but that's coming down the road, hopefully. And I just poured water all over myself. All right. Damn, you got a real pro working for you here. Doggies. Again, up at the top, it says want to, and that's, I know, in the template. In the templates that I am sharing, plug, what I want you to do is say, congratulations, celebrate the fact that somebody has taken the step and they're now registered. The first thing the UpViral templates tend to do is just say, do something for me, do some work. The first thing I want to do is celebrate the fact that they're in, that they've registered, and they now have a chance to win the big prize. Let them feel good about themselves. The whole point of this is to get people feeling good and sharing the campaign. If they don't feel good, if you slap them about the face and head and ask them to start sharing right off the bat, some people go, I don't want to do that, and they get kind of mad. Dr. Cherry asked a quick question. Can we use UpViral without having an email provider? Yes, you can. Second part of the question, can we follow up with emails with UpViral? No, you can't. UpViral only sends transactional emails and doesn't do all the follow-up. So yes, you would technically probably want to have an autoresponder. All right. Now, the other thing that I do is, and this is part of the reason why I don't like the way I see Johan says, I see you have a different campaign open in your second tab. Yes, I'm going to get to it, and I know I'm going long. But all of this stuff applies to you. And I don't know who the other person was that submitted that other one. Let's see. Vercoop. Yes, we're going to get to another campaign. If I would not babble so much. So the first thing, Johan says that's mine. Yes, we're going to get to it, Johan. If you have time, if you don't, please watch the replay. All right. Now, if take off your campaign owner hat, Monica, and put on the hat of somebody who's just joined. First of all, if you were celebrated, you'd be pretty excited, and maybe you're going to keep reading. Invite your friends to join the contest as well. But the first thing that I like to also do is get them to go check their email. And I know UpViral has this thing that says they're supposed to go confirm, but I think that's pretty bad. But I also like to show them that they've got some points. And I just scrolled down and I noticed that right now it says you have 0 entries. And this is one of the reasons why I really hate double opt-in. And I hate the way that I'm working to change the way UpViral does the double opt-in, such that I don't know whether you're really going to give me some points. But I have seen people that have done campaigns with 0 points when you first register. And that really deflates me as somebody running in a campaign. Monica says, couple of questions. Monica, since you're here, it sounds like you don't like many features in UpViral templates. I love the UpViral templates because they have good fonts, they have good looks, they have quite a few things that I like. Yes, I do like them. They're awesome. They're so much better in many ways than the old ones. I would like a couple of things to be changed, but I haven't won some of those battles yet with UpViral. But it also gives me the opportunity to offer you templates of my own, which are coming. Will they be modified? I don't know. I'm not in charge of development. Do I recommend disabling double opt-in? Absolutely, yes. If you are not required by law, this is Mitch's opinion. This is an opinion statement, not from UpViral, not from anybody else. It's Mitch, based on things that I have learned in the last 20 years. And from a good friend of mine, Christina Etheridge, who is an email guru, who tells you to turn off double opt-in. I'll tell you really fast. A recent study by somebody, and I can't remember, billions of emails were studied. Double opt-in did not improve interaction and I can't think of the word, did not improve, did not make the list more energetic and more responsive. So why have it if it's not really helping you that much? Unless you have to have it by law. Are we, Dr. Cherry, can we disable double opt-in UpViral? It depends. Some email services on the other side require it. Yes, you can turn double opt-in off in UpViral. Deborah says, would it be effective to say here 0 points? Be sure you have confirmed. Yeah, that's a good idea. I've not thought of that before. So Deborah, good idea. If you have double opt-in on, if it says 0 points, you got to go confirm. That would be a cool tool. Larry's saying the same thing. Yes, that's a good idea. Suggest to people that they go check their email. Now, one of the other things I've mentioned before is if you have something electronic, a little tiny, doesn't cost you anything, say it's an ebook in Monica's case, maybe it's a remodeling tips ebook, top 10 tips to start remodeling. Put that in the email, and up here at the top, that's right afterwards, when I said a few minutes ago, tell them to go do the double opt-in or check the whatever, say, we sent you a free gift in that email, please open it and to get the gift. That is really pushing them in the direction to go open that email. Give them a reason to go open the email. You could, if you wanted to, create a custom action down here that says, hey, yes, I opened the email and there was a secret word in that opening email, and give them points for opening that email. You could do that as well. I have done that many times. All right. So let's, Gene, I know, I'm sorry. How was your vacation? Gene, we got to talk. Gene is one of my clients. Bless you, Gene. I know you asked me several weeks ago, we need to chat. You didn't even send me a postcard. Gene, I'm a lousy business person, aren't I? All right, so this message is critical. Contest for Homer. Contest for homeowners looking to renovate. I like that. Good job, Monica. Win free access to my home renovation course. We've talked about that, but this is a very good message. I like this. Very well done. I would like to see win somewhere bigger, like it says win free access. The word win is a big clue for people as they're scrolling on Facebook. So maybe you could modify this a little bit. We've already covered all of that stuff, but this is a very good start. Now, that's fine. We'll go with that for now. 5 points for that, 5 points for Twitter, 5 points for LinkedIn, 1 point for WhatsApp. Just so you know, WhatsApp is getting really good conversions. So is Messenger, because they are one-on-one. You might want to give more points than this. Gene says, whose contest is that? I'm looking to renovate. Can I enter? Yes, I believe you can. Monica's here. Gene, meet Monica. Monica, meet Gene. Send the link. Oh, well, how about I just copy this and I post it in the chat. There's my referral link. Let's see how many people I can get to sign up. LOL. All right, so I think it's not UpViral's contest. Larry. Gene, good to see you. Ring the bell for Gene. Monica. big bells for being brave enough to submit your campaign and letting me rip you to shreds. If you have any questions, please don't be shy. I am happy to help give you advice. Doing great stuff. Great start. Let's switch over. That's mine, which is still available, by the way. You can go get that if you want. Here, let me give you the URL for that. If you want 5 free social sharing templates for UpViral, go get them right there in my thing. There's a slight plug. Here's some of the ones that you can get. I use them myself, and so do my mastermind members. All right, let's look. Oh, one more thing, by the way. Let's see how I can show you this. Do you see up here at the top? It's hard to see. I know it's really small. You see it says Havana? You notice mine says social sharing, Canva social sharing template, blah, 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 something. This title is set inside of UpViral. And people do see those in the tabs. You see this one that Johan has done says win a free year of printing. And I can't read. I guess I'm somewhat dyslexic. Win a year of free printing. So you can change this title. And that is, let me show you. I don't think I have UpViral open. Let me open UpViral. And you're going to see a whole bunch of my stuff, but that's okay, because I'm a very open book. Let's see. Let me just go to this one. Well, we'll go to this one. This is one of my own campaigns for my own business. If I go to setup and you go to design template, this title right here is what shows up here in the title in a tab in a browser. Okay, so Monica, yours says Havana because that's the template name that you used, and UpViral doesn't change those. That's these words right here, they do show up. Okay, so you can go change those. All right, now let's go over to Johan. Johan, thank you so much for being patient. I love that. I appreciate that. And you know I'm a long-winded kind of guy. Now, Johan points out that this is in Dutch, and I have used Chrome, and Chrome has translated this to English. So I'm not going to beat Johan up about the face and head for some of his words. You see right here, this is part of the image. And if I grab that, you see that entire image looks like that. And just so you know, Johan, you see I can actually see that these things are white and the background's not pure white. So I actually see those gray areas in between the images on my screen. You might want to check on that, Johan. Take part in this unique promotion. And again, some of the words are translated, so that may not come across as powerful as I would like. In English, that's kind of boring. All right, I'm reading what Monica is saying to Jean. And Monica did say that was very helpful. You're welcome, Monica. Take part in this unique promotion. Okay, what is that? Why are you wasting words, even if it's in Dutch, that does not identify who should be taking part in this? Win free printing for a year. Now, you could, you don't have to, but you could point out something like the struggles that I've had. Now, these are ink cartridges for different printers. Now, the question I have when I read this, and bravo for using a custom domain. Notice you're doing that. Bravo. Oh, I didn't. Let me really fast go back to Monica's thing. So if you're using a custom domain, and I'm jumping around, notice when this, I didn't scroll because I got this blown up kind of big. Notice inside the sharing, the social sharing, right here it says UpViral, upvir.al. And we'll see that in Johan's campaign. His custom domain is going to appear right there. So if you're not using a custom domain, the other opportunity is that that's what shows up here, and it looks more branded, right? It would be demazing.com if you switched it over. And that will also change, by the way, this URL here. It would be branded to you when you share the campaign, just like Johan has done in this one, right? We'll see that when I do actually get to the second page. It's branding. It's about trust. Now, let me quickly reverse because I distracted myself. It's my fault. Win free printing for a year. And again, it may be different in Dutch than it is in English based on the translation. But free printing to me can be confusing. Free ink for a year or free printer ink for a year is very different than free printing. I could go over to Kinko's and get printing, right? What it appears to me you're offering is free ink. That's what you're trying to promote. So printing ink versus printing, you might want to be really clear. And Deborah just pointed that out. It's probably a translation thing, but it's not really printing. It's free ink. Printer supplies, Johan says. Johan says, my problem is targeting. Everybody has a printer, so what to target? What to target is the pain point. I quit. My family hated me for a long time, which is no surprise. I got rid of our printers because the frickin' ink was costing me a fortune, and we hardly ever printed anything in the house. And they're like, but that means we have to drive over to a printing shop like Kinko's, which is just down the street. But more and more people maybe are getting rid of printers, so there may be that issue. But the pain point is that it costs too much to print, right? If this said, are you really mad about the price of printer ink? Are you tired of paying for printer ink? Win an entire year of free printing or printer's ink or something, right? You're addressing the pain point to start, as opposed to whatever this says in Dutch, take part in this contest. Who cares? Address the pain point, right? Target homeowners or even businesses. Thank you, Deborah. Deborah says, suggestion, do you own a printer? Ink costs driving you insane? I mean, that's your target, right? Whether it's a business or a home person at home, whoever has a printer, people are frustrated with the price of ink. So yes, any of those kind of things. No printing costs for a year. On June 15th, we will raffle 2 free printing for a year among the participants of the giveaway. Johan says this campaign converted to 4%, so any feedback I will use for the next one. Bless your heart. Again, part of the problem, Johan, and I believe this is true for almost everybody I've ever talked to, and I probably fail at it myself. You know how the doctor is really bad at his own campaigns? Take part. Oh, let's see. I distracted myself when I look at the comments. What was I starting to say? It happens, right? If you are struggling with figuring out how to convert, the problem is most likely the message is not coming across clearly. The message needs to identify especially in this point, especially in. By the way, if this is geo restricted, Johan, I'm going to click the join button in a minute, and if it kicks me out because I'm in the US, if you could switch that really fast while we're talking. Take off your I'm running a printer thing. I'm selling printer ink, and think about what the people coming in, how they're reacting. And if you have trouble with that, come over and get Deborah or Larry or anybody in the group. Post it in the UpViral group, or just grab somebody in your house and say, look, what do you feel when you see this? Do you absolutely gut have to enter this contest? If not, what could I say differently to get you in, right? And Deborah kind of highlighted, I've kind of highlighted it. You got to talk about the pain points first in this case, right? I don't initially think about the pain of winning printing for a year or printing ink until you reminded me, oh, God, you remember how much it costs and how you're always out of ink at the wrong time and how you need to have a backup supply. We're going to give you an entire year's of ink, regardless of what your printer is. We have you covered because we got it all, right? You got to think in marketing words and in what people really want the pain to stop, right? You want the pain to stop. You started doing that. No printing costs for a year, no ink, pain of ink for a year, but that doesn't really fully grab them. Now, the other thing that I started to say here is you're too wordy. And I know this is English versus Dutch. Don't tell them about the date yet. They don't need to know that. Simply say, we're giving 2 lucky winners a complete year of ink. Whatever printer you have, whatever, I don't know how you structured it, but whatever you're doing, we're going to solve your problem. By participating in this giveaway, you have to win free. See, you're saying the same thing again and again. Make it clear without having to repeat yourself. If you want to repeat something, talk about the pain points. Now, in addition, you'll immediately receive a discount voucher. Now, it depends. It depends upon who the people are and what they resonate with. If you are excited about discounts, then this will resonate. If it's kind of meh, everybody gets a discount, I don't know. I'm not sure it helps you or hurts you in saying this. You could say, once you register, we're going to send you a surprise and not even tell them what it is, giving them more incentive to register. Putting this here may or may not help you either. Test it, split test it, find out what works and what doesn't. I will tell you, in a campaign that I am running for a client, the first week was miserable results. Miserable results. And I kept split testing. I even created an exit pop survey to find out why people weren't registering, and that helped a whole bunch. Okay. Split testing can help. I took the campaign from 11 or 12% to it's over 20% conversion right now in the first 2 weeks. It makes a difference if you split test and understand why they're not registering. I've preached and preached and preached about looking at your data. You gotta look at your data. I preach about that all day long. Would you like to win a free year of printing? Instead of saying it that way, go back to what we were talking about. Talk about the pain point. Don't talk about would you. Talk about the pain. This will solve your ink problems. Something like that. This is the same template, by the way, that Monica used, isn't it? Because it has this down here at the bottom. There is no harm, by the way, especially if you look at this the way we talked about Monica's. If you look at just the top of this, this has got to get people to sign up. They've got to be able to suddenly go, I've got to have that. Free printer ink for a year. Free unlimited printer ink for a year. Different ways of saying it. All right, so I'm gonna assume. Well, let's back up before I go in. Johan said we sent this to 50,000 customer list, and you got a 4% conversion. You're not getting people excited about this. You're not addressing the pain points. You're not using really lust-worthy marketing words to get people to sign up. They're bored. If you're getting 4% conversion and you send it to 50,000 people, you're not hitting the right pain points. You're not addressing things. You need to have a copywriter look at your stuff. Deborah said, winning a laser color printer office tool would make it more appealing to me. HP offers subscription ink service, and I have a laser black and white inkjet for color, but I didn't sign up for their service. So that's also a good opportunity, is if once you get the conversion up, maybe you could offer a printer. You could offer a printer and free ink for a year. Larry said, for me, just like Mitch, we used our ink printer so little that the ink heads would clog up before we used up the original ink cartridge. And we have 2 teenagers sending stuff for school. They print PDFs all the time. Okay. Johan was responding to me saying that he sent to the 50,000 list. He says, I get that, and no sharing. It's because they're not excited. You got to get them excited. You got to find an offer that's going to excite them. And do not forget, I'll go back and tell the story that Bradley Waldrop used to tell me all the time. He did multiple campaigns for a survivalist group, people that think the earth is going to die and they got to go survive in the woods. Tried camping tents. He tried stools, fire equipment. The thing that resonated the most with his audience after multiple tests was a $97 flashlight. We cannot throw up one offer and quit. You can't do that. You've got to test multiple things. You've got to be testing all the time. And if this didn't resonate with your 50,000 person list, go back and ask them, what would really excite you if you had the opportunity to win something under $100 or under $300, whatever your target is. And again, it doesn't have to be expensive. Ask them what gets them excited. Right? Ask them what gets them excited. Do some research. Steve says, printers are cheaper than ink. Offer a printer? Absolutely. Multiple things, multiple ideas. Enter your details. Mitch, PMT is my viral traffic guy. I hope you switch this over. Johan says, for me, the ink is cheaper. Porter says, Johan, try Builderall's script generator. Is that a free thing? It will automatically give you good sales copy through their software. Interesting. I'm not aware of that. Is it free? Porter said no. I think he was responding to me. Builderall is a tool that you can build entire websites and business stuff. And all right, now Johan has done what I love. Congratulations, you're registered. You now have 10 chances to win a year of free ink. See? That's what I love. Celebrate them. Tell them they've got multiple chances to win. Dingo, look at this. In the email, you will get a discount 10% off. Open that right away. Now, here's the key. Don't tell them what's in the email. Tell them there's a surprise in the email. Don't tell them it's a 10% discount, because if I'm not interested in 10% discount, I'm not going to go open it. But if I don't know what it is, I'm more likely to go open it. Porter says, Builderall charges between $39 and $79 a month. Yeah, I know it is I just didn't know if they had a free lead magnet that was this copy tool. I'm sure there are free copy tools out there, and it's a good suggestion. But my suggestion is, and you can split test this, but don't tell them what the thing is in the email. Make them go look at it. Do you want to increase your chances of winning? I would get rid of this. Do you want to? Because you don't want to know the answer to that. You just want them to do it. Increase your chances of winning. Again, something I have suggested to the UpViral people to remove that. But that's all right. They'll get to it eventually someday. Invite friends and acquaintances to participate. Again, would you like to get rid of that? More chances and an extra discount. Share this action and this be careful for being too wordy here. This looks kind of wordy. Tell them this in bigger, bolder letters at the top. What's happening is that you're getting a lot of stuff and people are going to gloss through this. We don't need to repeat this right here. Below, you will see many chances to earn the so you need to tell them that. That's okay. Part of the thing, by the way, though, is one of the things that you can do is you can get much better with this. This is a long scrolling thing. What I'm bumping about is if I go over here, let's just glance at this one, by the way. I'm not overly fond of this one, but I think you can get some ideas from it. I don't like the colors that I put in here, but notice this is 2 columns. Okay. Notice that one of the things that I do is I put the rewards at the bottom. Now, if this were, I don't know what's behind this. Okay. If this were on a smartphone, notice the buttons appear, then the incentives appear at the bottom of the page. Deborah has posted the link to the confetti. Thank you for doing that, Deborah. The confetti is something that I use to celebrate people when they join. But what I'm trying to show you here, Johan, is that splitting this up for somebody that's on a laptop or a desktop makes it a little bit more readable. This is really wide and really a lot. And if you split it up, then it makes it easier for people to. What do you mean you couldn't get the confetti to work? Could it be the template I use does not support? All of the templates support 2 columns. Absolutely, you can make something 2 columns. And I will show you that if you don't know how to do that. It's 23 minutes after the hour. Pardon me. I do have I'm laughing for multiple reasons. By the way, I think it's very nice that you have a support thing here on your page. That way people who have questions can get help. That's freaking awesome. I do have a course called The Secrets of the UpViral Editor, which I do not have the link right in front of me right now. But if you connect with me, I can help you get to that. That course will show you lots of cool tricks about the editor. My point being, this is so big and so wide. Right at the top, people are going to go, okay, and they're never going to get down here to the buttons. Part of the reason that people aren't sharing in your case is it takes them forever to find the buttons. There's too much stuff up here at the top. Now I do, by the way, good for you. You have split these up. So bravo for figuring out how to make that happen. I love that new functionality inside of UpViral. All right, so let me jump really fast over to UpViral, and I'll show you how to do that really fast. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back here in this campaign, and this is not a live campaign, but we'll do design, right? What I'm going to do is split test. And one of the very first things I want you to recognize, because this is something that I know UpViral has heard from me that needs to be fixed. But let me show you a couple of things really fast. Now, some of these templates are 2 columns, right? This one's 2 columns, this one's 2 columns, this one's 2 columns, that one's 2 columns, 2 columns, 1 column, 2, and 2. So the vast majority of them are 2 columns, and there's now the Father's Day one that has a split. This one, which is Havana, which is the one that you used, is not split. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that one, and I'm going to show you how to split it. And you can mix and match. It does not all have to be 2 columns like the one I showed you. Now, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to open UpViral, and I'm going to go back and show you something. We are in this campaign, and I'm going to go set up. I should have clicked on the other button. And I'm going to go notice that the very first thing that they've done when I did that split test is they've turned this one live. You need to be aware of this. If your campaign is live and you start to do a split test, by default, that template, I haven't done any editing to it, and the users will see this instantly if they're out there registering right this minute. So the first thing you have to do, if your campaign is live, when you start doing a new split test, is to come in here, select the template, and instantly go over here and turn that off. And I highly recommend you do the save button again, just to be sure. Because some of your people will start seeing that if they are live on your campaign right now. I have begged UpViral to turn that off, and they are working on that as an improvement. Don't know when it's coming, but just be aware of that. So here's this campaign that is currently 1 column, right? It's all 1 column. Let's suppose, and notice, first of all, that there are sections. You see this blue line around this? And they have recently improved this. There is now a way you could add a block above You can add a block above, which you couldn't do that before. And you can edit this section by clicking on the pencil. So the section itself, let me just show you, has some properties, right? The row options number of columns is currently set to 1. I can change this to 2 for that entire section. Notice there's a section down here that hasn't been changed. And you people over on Facebook, still haven't commented. Just having fun. So each section can be 1, 2, or 3 columns. You can make it 3 columns if you want. This section up here now has 3 columns to it. I could take this and put it in there. So now on this top section, apparently I didn't drag it properly. This is something I'm not doing right. All right, I'll drag it this way. There it goes. So you can make this section 2 columns by default. In this case, I currently have it at 3. Let me go back and roll over this. It can sometimes be a little confusing how to get this pencil. Come over here and make it to be 2 columns again. Now, if I make it 1 column, everything that's on the right-hand side is going to be dropped down to the bottom. So if you got things out of order, you can figure that out. But you could also do, if you want, I got to move us out of the way. You could do 1/3 and 2/3. So if I want this to be wider, I can do 2/3, 1/3. Set it backwards, but I can make this wider and have these buttons in a smaller section. Now, again, when you go to the smartphone, what it's going to do is it's going to take those buttons and it's going to put it below. So you just have to understand how the thing flows when you are working with 2 columns or 3 columns. But you can create any section as 2 columns or 3 columns, or 2/3, 3/3, 1/3, all that stuff. And it's not hard. Not hard at all. So you can change the background color of that section. I could make it purple. You know, I can do all of that kind of stuff. And that applies to the entire section. Or they call them blocks. I should start using their words. Blocks. Okay. Got it, Johan? Johan says I got it. That's one of the joys of the new editor, is you can do all kinds of fun stuff. I could make a section that is nothing more than this title if I wanted to. And notice that I don't have to, let me back up a second. So if you saw me drag that, I did not do this. I did not click on this section and then do drag. I didn't do that. What I simply did was I clicked and dragged. You do have to get that blue line to show you where it's going to drop it, but you don't have to use their little dragger bars. Okay? Now, the only other thing that I want you to be aware of is you cannot currently drag an entire block. So I have that selected, right? So you have to click outside of the stuff that's in that block in order to get this edit to show up. But there is no dragger bar over here. So if you want to move an entire block, you can't. You just have to drag all the little pieces that are inside of it. It's not too hard. Okay. Quick tips there. All right, so going back to this campaign, this is taking up too much space. By the way, if you're not aware of this, even if you're using a one column block, I'll use the right words. If I take this incentives and I put it here, inside of this one column block. Now, I only have one incentive on this particular campaign, but if I select this, and I got to move my zoom window out of the way. If you come down here, where is it? If you do grid layout, oops, I clicked it twice, I apologize. You can put 4 items in a row, or in your case, you had 2. So you'd have them side by side, so they're not full width in one of these sections. Now, I didn't change the block to have columns. I'm only doing it for the incentive section. If you have a lot of incentives, you can make them be small. Or you can put them in a, what I have done, I'm showing you all my tricks here. I'm just going to put a new block down here, and I'm going to edit that block, and I'm going to make it be 3 columns. Now, Johan says, it's the tricks, which is why I watch this show every week. Bless your heart. These are the kind of things my members get too, by the way. If I wanted to, just like you broke up these buttons into multiple spots, right? Multiple sections, you can actually you can build your own grid of incentives. If I had multiple incentives, and this campaign only has 1, but I can go into these blocks, and you see over here where it has the incentives, right? There could be 3 or 4 of them. I can turn each one of them on and off, just like I can the buttons. Larry says, Johan should get a bell ring for that. Yes, you're right. Bless you for showing up every week. And that's true for everybody else that shows up every week. Deborah says, so for an evergreen campaign, I could use those blocks for daily, weekly, and monthly incentives? Sure. If you have multiple incentives, you can create these blocks for either way. You could do the grid, or you can create these individual sections and put these things anywhere you want. And again, if I had multiple incentives in this campaign, I can turn them on and off whenever I want. So the users would not see them. That's also true for, now, all right, let's be careful though. So in this campaign, if I go to incentives, you see there's only 1. Mitch has not gotten UpViral to change this yet, although it's on my list of things to work on, is to be able to take these incentives and turn them on and off. So if I'm in design, you saw me turn these on and off before down here. I would like to be able to take these incentives and turn them on and off. Why would I do that? So Deborah, the problem is, well, I guess you can work it. The problem is that this is on, right? I guess I'm sorry, kind of rethinking this. I hadn't really thought about it that hard yet. But if one way to get rid of it is to delete it, right? If you set up this, say you wanted to set it up for only 500 people get it, and then after that nobody gets it, or maybe you're doing it for a month. The problem I've always had was, well, it can go on forever, right? I can take it off the sharing page like I just showed you, but I was always worried about the emails going out. Well, but silly me, I can turn those off here, right? I can turn those off. So I technically could turn it off and still leave it as an incentive. So I guess I could do that. I could turn it off by myself without making UpViral program it. I was afraid that I had to just delete it, and I don't have to do that. Larry says, turn incentives. Yes, Johan, I'm not done yet. Larry says, turn incentives and more points on and off for 1 or 2 days to get more people to come back and share. Yes, you always want to send them emails and say, hey, we've added this new incentive. We've added this new custom action. You don't have to call it a custom action. You can turn the custom actions on and off on the sharing page as well. Right? Okay. Good idea, though. Larry, thank you for contributing. And those Facebook people for not contributing, you don't get a bell. No bell for you. All right. So notice what Johan did that I love is he did split these up. I mentioned that before. I lost my cursor. Why is my cursor thing not working? Where is that? Mouse halo. Maybe it's not been here all day. Split up these buttons. Share your link via email. Share this promotion with friends and acquaintances. What you should do, Johan, is tell them why. Because this doesn't show a number of points, but what you want to say is this one. Put this with that. Or you can, by the way, depending upon how wide you've set things up, if I come back over to UpViral and I come over to our template over here, and depending upon how you have the section set up, but you can, if you come here and you double click in here, you can change the words in here. And sometimes what I do is I put plus 50 per referral. Not obviously you can't see it because it's very narrow, but you can change the text on the buttons. And you can identify, like in here, share your link via email, earn 50 points or whatever, 50 chances per person who signs up. You can put more words in there, especially since you've got it set to wide, depending upon how you do it, blah, blah, blah. But you can identify it right inside the button. Deborah says, great idea, Larry. So you can have extra flash share in the next 4 hours to score more points. Yes. All kinds of stuff you can do. The ability to turn these things on and off has changed the game. UpViral, I don't know, really thought about it. Maybe they did. But this ability to turn them off and rearrange them, whee, doggies. That's freaking awesome. So you're explaining all of these things. I don't know that you need to explain each one of these. I think you could just say earn extra points for doing these actions. You don't need to explain each and every one. But let me go do the thing you want me to do. Facebook, social sharing image. So that's the same image that's on the landing page. Win 1 year of free printing. So you do have your custom domain here. We talked about that before. It doesn't say upvirl.al, so it is branded to you. Win a free year of free printing. I don't know what this says because UpViral or Chrome didn't explain it to me. The other thing, and you could sort of test this, Johan. I think it's something that you would, but UpViral doesn't have split testing for the images, but you can kind of sort of do that if you need to by simply changing out the image. You possibly could get better results if you put tired of paying for ink for a year, or tired of paying for ink, win 1 year of free ink. You could address the pain point up here at the top of the page or somewhere in the image. It's a very good image. Does have win in big bold letters. You've listened to me before, so thank you. Bless your heart. Ring the bell. I don't know that you need to show the two different styles. Again, I am no expert on this, but many people recognize these cartridges. Many people may not be aware that these are also ink cartridges. So I'm not sure you need both in this image, but that's something you could talk to other people about. I know they're toners. I understand that these are, I'm really getting used to the idea that you guys are reacting as opposed to me waiting for you to say something. Steve says one of each style, bigger and easier to see. That's a good point too. There's probably too many. Deborah said, I would get an image, Fiverr or Big Stock Photo or whatever, that is an IV dripping money to into a printer. There you go. That's a fabulous idea. So that really does go to the pain point of, so if that's not explained, so like a medical IV or the nurse with an IV and money just flowing down into the printer, visually give the idea that it's a pain and it's expensive. Another way of doing it. Great input, Deborah. So we're at an hour and 44 minutes. Lots of big tips here. Nothing wrong with reminding people about this down at the bottom. But again, once Johan, once you start putting things into, Deborah says, Johan, I can show you where to find that image. Okay. Once you start putting them into blocks, things really fall into place. And the one that I had before was really ugly, and I know it's ugly. I'm learning how to be a better designer. So there's lots of things that you can do besides what they hand you in the templates. I did want to show you one other quick campaign that was absolutely driving me bonkers. This is one that this is an example. I don't know that let me grab the URL, and I'm just going to open it in a new window so you can see the landing page and not be so big. When a Cyberlander valued it, and by the way, Johan, if you have any more questions, let me know. I'm kind of quickly drifting off of your campaign because I think we've talked about it plenty. When this camper thing, and they need to fix this because it's kind of crazy that this thing pops up. But it's this camper thing that goes in the back of a crazy Tesla pickup truck. Really bizarre, right? When a Cyberlander registered with a camper, innovative as the truck and blah, 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 there's nothing like this. Now, this is a very short, simple sign up. The video is explaining everything you need to know about what this thing is if you've never heard of it. It's valued at $39, register to win. Okay. They could add extra stuff at the bottom. Absolutely could do all kinds of stuff down at the bottom. But I don't think they need it with these videos. I think it's very clear what the offer is. Now I'm going to close this. You get to the sharing page, and nobody has really looked at this. And it drives me bonkers because they picked a background image that you can't see the text. I'm like, what the hell is going on with you people? No offense, people, if you're watching. But what is going on with this where I can't read the text? Did anybody look at this? What is wrong? And of course, they've got the want to increase thing that I dislike so much. So much could be done with this page. Paul says, terrible color scheme. Johan says, thanks, Mitch. We'll update you in a few weeks. Here's how to win Cyberlander. I keep forgetting to look. There it is. It's down here. I can see actually who's here. There's Brian and Deborah and Fernando and Gigi and Harry and Hugh. Look at that. Monica's here. Paul, Porter, Rodney, if I missed your name, Steve and Steve and Steve. Ulrich. Can't see who's on Facebook. But anyway, great to have you here. I don't understand how somebody can let this happen. Now, I have left this here and I haven't refreshed it. And I think that it's cached. And I'm going to hit refresh because I want to see if anybody's actually fixed it. But I bet they haven't. Nope. They haven't. I mean, how is it that this contest is... How is it that nobody has fixed this? This has been running for multiple weeks. And you can see that there are 958 pages, and there are 10 people per page. So that's 9,500 people are registered in this campaign. And I know you can't see that, but it says 958 down here. It just blows me away that this is still sitting like this and nobody has complained about it. Just blows me away. Let's look at the social sharing image. Here's the social sharing image. Notice, by the way, anybody notice my favorite topic today? They're not even using the custom domain. They need somebody. They need to pay me to come fix this. But somebody tell me, since you guys are almost real time here, Paul says there are no people in the image. Well, that's because this thing doesn't exist yet. Neither one of them physically you can buy. So it is just but they could put a person there. You are very correct. But what else is wrong? The assumption is, number one, people know what this is. And of course, they're eliminating the audience of people who don't understand what this is will never sign up. But there's no, you know what I want is the big bold words, win $40,000 contest, whatever, win the Cyberlander. Put something in the image. The image is kind of boring. And I would scroll right past it because I don't know they're giving it away. Nobody reads these words until they stop. You got to get them to stop scrolling. Deborah said no text. Bless you, Deborah. Johan said no text on the image. Ulrich said it's cut off. And domain. Yes. Ulrich, or is it Ulrich? Apologize if I'm messing that up. Paul said dark woods, a bit creepy. Someone likes dark colors. It is a little hard to see. And all it is a screen grab from their video. No problem. Call me Yuli. If I can remember. Johan, just imagine how this campaign would fly if they set it up correctly. They already have 10,000 leads. Yes, exactly. It is amazing to me how people create campaigns and they don't spend enough time to really understand what's going on. And I just can't fathom that whoever built this didn't notice this when they were building it. How do you let that happen? And if you want your business to be respectable, how do you let that happen? I mean, it puts me off to no end that if I can't read something. Larry said, are we winning the tree, the car, or the camper in the background? Exactly. And it's just amazing. Just amazing. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you so that you got the opportunity to see something that is a larger quote unquote campaign that still struggles. Yuli said the relax chair. That's what they're giving away. The relax chair. Whoever created this campaign has not been to the UpViral Copilot show. I was curious, by the way, if you watched the video that was on the landing page. Let me go back to this. Really bright stuff. It is kind of amazing that this thing fits in there. A stealth camper with 0 drag. So you see this, the screen grab, the sharing image comes from here. So the whole thing folds out of this new Tesla pickup truck thing. It's fascinating. I don't know. I mean, it's, if you watch this one, well, actually, it's, I don't know. If you watch one of the other ones,
people ask me every day.
Don't watch the freaking commercials. Oh, God, that's what I look like. They show you the inside of this thing, and it's freaking tiny. I mean, it's freaky tiny. They've squeezed a lot of stuff in here. 2 chairs, 2 tables, turned into 2 beds, sort of, if you call those beds. They look pretty small. And there's an entire bathroom and toilet all inside that tiny little thing. It's pretty amazing. Anyway, it's pretty fascinating. Is it worth $40,000? I don't know. Yuli says no place for the toilet paper. There is a shower there. Did you not see it? There's a shower. There's the shower right there. There's a sink. If I back up a little bit, you see the shower. There's a shower. Shower right on top of the toilet, if you want. The dry composting toilet. It's fascinating. I think the toilet or the bathroom is half of the entire thing, isn't it? Steve says, I would spend $40,000 on hotel rooms instead. Yeah, I think I would too. And Johan has a great point. I bet those 10,000 subscribers did not pre-order the Tesla Cybertruck that you need for it. And I suspect they also need a little disclaimer somewhere that says Cybertruck not included. Right. Anyway. All right. So that is our entire show for the day. Anybody still watching, bless you for being here. Thank you for putting up with me getting used to Zoom and the switch over from Webinar Jam to Zoom. Porter says, that's the beauty of UpViral. Even for affiliate marketing, it works. Exactly. Thank you. Ring the bell for that little plug. UpViral does some great stuff. And in front of the right people, it works really well with the right opportunity. You got to make some effort. You got to put some effort in. It's not just suddenly going to work. You got to understand marketing. You got to understand copywriting. You gotta understand the images and graphics and everything else. It's a challenge, right? There's lots of things we have to learn. Yuli just said, Johan, thank you for sharing your campaign. I agree. Ring the bell for being brave enough to let me rip it to shreds, and everybody else for providing input. I appreciate that. I do have a whole bunch of recordings that I have collected of campaign reviews. I'm going to get you guys a link to go see all of those. It's outside of the UpViral Copilot show. I don't have the link ready, but eventually I'm going to create I've got a whole bunch of stuff. And the cool thing about it is it's all searchable and you can do all kinds of stuff with it. And Larry says, I think Zoom has allowed us to be more interactive. It's certainly because it's live. It's no longer that 15-second delay, right? The poor people over on Facebook, hi over there, whoever you are. I do appreciate the move to Zoom. Everybody's familiar with using it, and it is lickety split faster. And we do now have the ability that if somebody wants to raise their hand and ask me a question, and I wasn't even looking for that. So lots of things for me to learn as well, because I've never done it in webinar format. I've always done it in just as a Zoom default basic Zoom call. So that's also new for me. If you have any suggestions, of course, send them in. If you have so the next week's show, we are going to have another case study. The show after that, we're currently planning on a gentleman who does email delivery. He is an email delivery expert. I have not talked to him yet, but he has been presented to me as somebody who really knows with that. Steve asks, are we staying with Zoom? The answer is yes, primarily because of the better interactions. But it also allows us to stream right into the Facebook group. And if people happen to just be scrolling on Facebook, we hope more people see it. So that was the intent to get in here with Zoom. So next week, there is going to be a case study. The week after that is going to be the email delivery expert. The week after that's still kind of vague. But typically what I'm doing is a Q&A session, and then we're doing the reviews. We split them up, the Q&As and the reviews, because they typically take way too long if I try to do both in one call. So coming down the road is a Q&A session, and then we'll do another review section month and a half out. So thank you for putting up with this whole thing and the movement. Did anybody ever figure out if you could save the chat on your side? I don't remember seeing if that was done. If I missed your questions or whatever, I apologize. Deborah, bless your heart, for posting the links. There still is the $30, the 30-day $1 UpViral trial if you use the link. Johan says it's not possible to save the chat. Bummer. But I still typically try to post everything that everybody says. The only thing you don't get, I guess, is the links. But I still think you can just select and grab and copy and paste. I'm copying, so I think you can do that. Porter says, StreamYard allows you to save and stream on Facebook, YouTube, and your website simultaneously. Yes, I'm aware of that. I use Ecamm on the Mac to do the very same thing that StreamYard does, and I will probably be doing Ecamm into Zoom so that I can put some more graphics and stuff up from my end. I think it works pretty well. I was not in charge of selecting the tool. They didn't even ask me. They just came to me and said, hey, we're switching over to Zoom. So it is what it is. You can't copy? Huh. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Right-click, select, copy and paste, Deborah says. But if he can't do that, Zoom account owner can post the PDF in the Facebook group. Well, that would be possibly awesome. Steve says, I think you need to enable chat copy. Okay, well, I will look into that, Steve. Thank you very much for that. I'll go in and look at the settings. This account is not for the Copilot show exclusively. It is the Zoom that Wilco uses for everything else, which is why my name came up, and I'm going to have to change it every week. But that's why my name came up as Wilco, is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, thank you for being here. If you got any quick things, Deborah says I was able to copy the chat earlier, but not now. Okay, so we'll figure that out. Thank you for being here. We will see you again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Let me know if you need anything. Of course, the UpViral group is wide open for conversations. Let's chat there, and we will see you again next week when we have a special guest case study. Thanks for tuning in. I'm just trying to think if I'm going to do anything else. Bye, Paul. Bye, everybody.